We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Hello, everybody. As you welcome to Nerd Spastics, it's the week of April 2nd. Well, today's April 2nd, but it's not the week of April 2nd, you know what I mean. But we're here to discuss this week's news in gaming, film, and television as always, and everything in between. I'm Sean.
I'm Tristan. Welcome to our first spring episode, we can finally say.
Yes, exactly, spring episode. And we actually have a special guest here with us, Miss Erika McGowan.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So, Erika is a good friend of mine from college.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Franklin Pierce.
But you have a little inside knowledge you can share with us. What's your background?
Oh, thank you. I spent the last 4 years of my life being a production assistant, film, TV, and just joined the DGA, so I'm working as an AD, hopefully.
Very exciting.
Cool.
Any titles you are allowed to reveal that you've worked on?
Sure. My resume, the big things, way back in the day, Walter Mitty, RIPD, Elementary, Smash, and I just worked on Bloodline, which just got released on Netflix.
Nice.
Very cool. And we will talk about that later when we come to our screen-to-screen section. But to start, let's start with some toasty video game news. Toasty! All right, guys. So the first thing we have to say, it is April 2nd. So Blackrock Mountain is out. After weeks of us talking about it,
It's finally here.
Hearthstone's
Well, Wing 1 at least.
Wing 1 of Blackrock Mountain is out. So if all the cards have been revealed as of last week, some really cool stuff. 700 gold per wing, or $25 for it all. I paid the $25, as you know, a couple weeks ago. Tristan will probably pay the gold.
Yeah, I'm just going to do the gold week by week and save it up over the missions.
What does that mean? Break it down.
So either you can buy the whole thing outright, or you can complete missions in-game, and they reward you with gold, and you can use that gold to buy them.
Yeah, so, but there also was a new quest that, Tristan, you found.
So at first I wasn't sure if there was just a special April Fool's thing or something, because this came out yesterday. There were a couple other people posting about it as well. But there's a new mission where you can spectate a friend, and if they win a game, you get a card pack.
Yeah, I think that's a little weird. Usually they'd reward your gold for doing well, playing games, winning. But no, you can watch someone win, I guess, and still get gold. Maybe this has to do with the whole Twitch epidemic that's kind of going on with everybody watching people play video games now on Twitch and stuff. But
Maybe, because it does have its own in-game streaming where you can watch a friend's feed. So I wonder if they're trying to get this to be more social, to get more people watching each other and checking things out and kind of reward that. I wonder if we'll see more of these alternative methods of being able to win card packs or gold.
yeah, it is. And the whole like watching someone play thing is new to Hearthstone, at least like in the in-game itself. So maybe they're trying to get more like people to start using that.
Yeah, or maybe to reward people. I have a friend who doesn't really play Hearthstone much, but he really enjoys watching people play. So I don't know if this is kind of a thing for that type of a crowd to kind of get them more paying attention to their friends, and hopefully that might rope them into playing again themselves and spending money on it.
No, it's true. So as you all been waiting for, Blackrock Mountain is out. Start playing it. I know I will probably when we're done with this. So speaking of Blizzard, there also was the WoW April Fool's prank this year, which they do every year.
They had a lot of fun with April Fools as well as many others.
Yes. The WoW one this year was to introduce a World of Warcraft Tinder, which...
Will you be making use of the World of Warcraft Tinder? Will that get you to sign back up for World of Warcraft?
I don't know. Finding that special someone in WoW, I guess, would be, I don't know. It just...
Well, there have been people who have gotten married and had ceremonies
That is
in
true.
WoW, so
That
why
is
not have a
true.
Tinder in WoW?
That
They could
is
actually
true.
probably make a lot of money off of it.
You
Yeah.
guys joke, that will blow up.
There will be demands for real WoW Tinder.
I hope not.
So also with April Fool's stuff, ThinkGeek put out their usual ones as well, which some really funny ones. There was the Mad Max Power Wheels dirt drifters. So you can have your kids running and chasing people for gasoline, I guess, with real working gun turret.
I think my favorite was the steam-powered steam machine. So you had a little coal-fired computer that would run Steam OS.
That it was pretty good, I will say. I did like two of them, the Game of Thrones ones. However, the fact that HBO had them taken down kind of disappointed me a little bit.
Yeah, this is really odd. So there was the Game of Thrones Clue game and then the Hodor GPS, but they both disappeared relatively soon after they went up on ThinkGeek.
Yeah, I guess HBO wasn't okay with it, or maybe they had a actual Game of Thrones Clue in the works. That wasn't a joke.
Highly doubtful, but it would be kind of amazing if it did exist.
If it was a 4 feet board as well, maybe. So the other thing that went up was...
hold on, because it's a very strange thing that they would go and take that down, because they've kind of publicly said, we don't mind if people share their HBO Go passwords. We just want people watching the show. And so the fact that they would kind of get upset over a ThinkGeek April Fool's thing and request that it was taken down because they took down the videos on YouTube, there was no evidence left of it on the ThinkGeek site.
Except for like the sides, which you could click on it and it would just take you to the home page. Yeah, I mean, they were pretty funny. When I watched them, I was expecting to see them again, but I don't know why HBO maybe put a demand to take them down. First, maybe we thought maybe it was Hasbro because of Clue, but both of them are down, the GPS and the Clue game. So, I don't know. It disappoints me a little bit in HBO, but... Yeah,
so why would you care about an April Fool's joke? Any sort of publicity for Game of Thrones is going to be good with it coming out in just a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely, I feel like, good publicity and getting people excited to watch the show again. So the other April Fools we had was Google Maps Pac-Man.
I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, so Google Maps had it on their page, so whenever you went up and looked up a map, you can play Pac-Man on that map. So just a fun little dumb thing, which is kind of fun. Like probably to compete last year, they did the Pokemon one, which was good as well. So
also on Google Maps. So Google Maps seems to have its own division that does an April Fool's thing, and as well as the search part as well.
Exactly.
Because they had the backwards search this year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. If you typed in com.google, you got a Google backwards site.
And everything you typed in would come up backwards.
So that was pretty inventive as well. So next for the video game news, we have the Arkham Knight PS4 bundle announcement.
Which looks pretty sweet. I do like the color of it, although I'm kind of disappointed because usually when they have these bundles, it's the same price as it normally is and whatnot, but they're charging a $50 premium to get the special bundle with the decal and the color versus they're going to have a PS4 bundle with the game for the regular $400 price. But if you want the special paint job, it's an extra $50.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. If they're going to do it, they should just do it without... I mean, just have one for the extra $50 and not give people the choice. Oh, you can have a regular one for $50 less. I feel like I wouldn't care about the paint job if I'm going to get the thing for $50 less.
Yeah, it's like I do like the color. It's kind of fun having a unique thing. They've done this before with other games, or they've done white editions. They have a white edition of the PS4 that came with Destiny, but they didn't charge any extra for that. So I don't know why all of a sudden they would charge extra for it being silver and then having a Batman logo on it.
Yeah, it didn't make much sense.
So many companies do that. I mean, think about Game Boy Color way back in the day. I mean, when it was just I could buy a green one or a purple one. Or even, the 5C, the cell phone, the iPhone.
Yeah,
people will pay for color.
Yeah, I'm all for having more color options. It's just kind of odd to see it change course. Like, oh, you have to pay an extra $50 for the color, while normally they do that for.
It has the bat symbol on it, people.
Yes,
$50.
I'm telling you,
that's $50 right
people
there.
People will pay for that.
Oh, they definitely will, and that might be why they're doing it because they know diehard fans will pay the extra $50.
By the way, we'll call that toasty news for the day. All right. So Zelda delayed until next year for the Wii U.
Yeah, that's kind of a big one because that was going to be their major title for the holiday season this year. And this kind of sets up Xbox to have another dominant holiday season because now that Uncharted has been delayed for PS4 and now Zelda for Wii U has been delayed. Microsoft has their own unique lineup with Halo 5 coming out in October, which got a release date, so that's our other news, as well as they have an exclusive on the new Tomb Raider for about 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last Zelda game? It's been a little while, so, I mean...
Yeah, I cannot remember. I want to say it was when the Wii launched.
Yeah, so...
Twilight Princess was the last Zelda game.
Twilight Princess was the last Zelda game, so you have a new one. Everybody's been waiting for this Zelda game to come out for a long time, and then it's been delayed till next year.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of typical for Nintendo, especially Zelda games. They typically do get delayed, but I kind of like how they did announce that they were delaying the game. They actually had the main designer of the game do a video apologizing to people for the delay, but saying, they want to explore the open world they're adding to it and add more content and make the best game they can.
Mm-hmm. Did they mention what we should expect in this new one?
Not really. They just said they're doing an open world type of a thing, which is the first for a Zelda game. So hopefully they're going to add a lot more content to the world as opposed to having an open world and not a whole lot in it, which might have been what it was at currently.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this leads to some wild speculation of my own. When Twilight Princess came out, it came out at the end of the GameCube's life cycle. And it came out on GameCube and was a launch title for the Wii.
That's right, yeah.
And a few weeks ago, we heard that they're working on new hardware, and they're going to have an announcement about the new hardware sometime next year. So with this getting delayed possibly till the end of 2016, they just said sometime next year, could this turn to something where this ends up in the same situation as Twilight Princess, where it's a launch title for new hardware, but also a top-notch game for the current hardware.
So what do you think the likelihood of that is?
I feel that's really unlikely. That's kind of my far-fetched pie-in-the-sky type of a theory, but it is possible. But more likely, I feel like they've been developing it this long for the new hardware. I mean, for the current Wii U hardware. The new hardware will have some other type of gimmick, most likely, because that's kind of been Nintendo's thing for the last couple of generations. So probably wouldn't have to be re-engineered in order to work on the new hardware. So odds are it'll just be a Wii U game. It'll be an excellent Wii U game and be a reason to buy the Wii U, frankly. But who knows? We might see it on the next-gen hardware, whatever that might be.
All right, and that will do it for Toasty Video Game News. And we're going to jump right now to Screen to Screen. So, we have a lot of news with Screen to Screen today. So, the first thing we want to talk about, of course, is something that happened at the end of last week's show.
Pretty much right after we aired.
Right after we aired, and we were very disappointed, is the Spectre 007 trailer. So, that came out right after we aired for the teaser trailer, and I was very impressed with this trailer.
The cinematography looks absolutely gorgeous in this. And I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing a trailer already, because it wasn't that long ago that they announced they were going to start filming. So they haven't been filming that long. No,
not at all. Only like a few months, to be honest, the 007 has been filming. And I know they had to stop filming a few times as well, especially with when the script got leaked in the Sony hack. So.
Well, did you guys see on, I think on YouTube, there's a video of the 007 crew getting drunk in the aisles of an airplane.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
No, we did
I
not
haven't
see
seen
that.
That's great. Oh, I'm really excited for this. It should be out in November of this year, which is a really tight schedule to shoot and put out a movie.
I was actually very surprised they didn't push it back. I was waiting for this to be delayed, actually.
So actually, this kind of might be your area of expertise. Is that kind of typical for a full-length movie to have that short of a time period between starting filming and premiering in theaters? Or what is the typical time frame?
I'd say a typical time frame would be a year. You film for 2 or 3 months, and then after that, it's all editing, advertising, getting the hype up. So it is a quick turnaround.
Yeah, so it's probably like a 9 months or so turnaround.
Mm-hmm. They probably had the release date set before they started shooting, honestly.
Yeah, I've been seeing that with more and more release for studios. At least studios want a set and date release date before someone even starts pre-production sometimes. I think that actually, if we remember, when Spider-Man 3 was supposed to come out with Sam Raimi still filming, that was his issue, was they wanted it a year before he wanted to put it out. And that's why he ended up quitting that film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also Bond has kind of made a history recently of always kind of doing their releases in November. Not yearly, but they typically do November as their release window.
Yeah, I think ever since... Daniel Craig has took over, it's always been November. I think Pierce Brosnan was the last one to actually do a summer release. So after that, we have the Mad Max trailer. The final trailer for Mad Max came out.
And it looks absolutely insane.
It looks insane. I'm going to be honest. When I first heard they were making a remake of Mad Max, no Mel Gibson, no whatever, I was kind of like, whatever. It's just probably going to be a stupid remake where but this trailer looks insane. Like, I am actually very excited for this film.
And the thing I like about it is they're doing a lot of real stunts. There was an interview with one of the actors recently on the UK Top Gear, and he was talking about how you just have hundreds of vehicles that you can't hear anything because everything is so monstrously loud from all the vehicles. So he said there's someone just kind of on top of the truck who's banging into you to give you your cue to act and say a line. So it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie. At the beginning when I read the movie release schedule for this summer, I wasn't too excited for it, but now after watching the trailers and seeing more about it, I am pretty excited for this film. So the next thing that came out actually during the April Fool's thing is that Deadpool will be rated R.
Yeah.
This is good news.
And also the first for a Marvel film.
Yeah, actually that is true. This would be the first Marvel film that is rated R.
Yeah, because I believe everything else has been PG-13.
Yeah, it's definitely a big leap for them, but I think it's a needed leap when you're talking about the character of Deadpool. Somebody who's very, mouthy and, especially breaking the fourth wall like he will. And they've already shown that, which is definitely a big thing they will keep. And luckily, they are not keeping the same character that was in X-Men Wolverine or Wolverine Origins, which was a bastardized version of Deadpool, which is awful.
Well, what do you think about the fact that they're keeping Ryan Reynolds as the actor?
See, I liked him as Wade before they did the whole stupid transformation from a mutant thing. So I think that's actually a very good idea, and I think I do like that they're keeping him.
Yeah, I mean, he can pull off playing the smartass very well. As far as the action part, not as confident in him as that, especially after his other superhero movie, the Green Lantern movie, which I never even saw, but it looked terrible.
It was terrible.
I don't typically see him as an action star, just more of the kind of screw-up comedy type of a thing.
I will say, though, I was very impressed with the test footage that was leaked for it. I mean, the test footage for the Deadpool, which is what pushed Deadpool to be made, because the test footage came out after the studio had already denied it. And the test footage got so much viewing and so much hype on the internet that's how they actually ended up going back and doing the film now.
So do you think it was a purposeful leak?
It could have been. And, if so, that's a smart move on them.
Yeah, I mean, if they've found out they've been canned and they don't think there's any interest in it, so why not put it out there and see what happens? You got nothing to lose at that point.
I mean, you think about how many things now come back to life from things like Netflix and the internet and stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely the way to go. I mean, if something's already dead, it's not completely just go on there. I mean, Kickstarter itself as like the Veronica Mars movie that, didn't have any life, and now Super Troopers 2 we talked about last week. Things seem to be getting a second life on the internet, and even stuff like this seems to be coming through.
When you're working on a set, how much security is there around people being able to use their phones to take pictures and the footage itself? Like, how closely guarded is that? Is that something that someone could easily get their hands on and leak, or?
It honestly depends on the set, which company, who are the producers. Just like everyone's personality, some people are more protective than others. Some companies are more protective. Sometimes they hire specific people to watch the crowds, tell people to put down their cell phones, but frankly, it's kind of against the law. You can't tell somebody on a public street not to record with their own phones. So you could find that stuff on the internet. Would you want to watch somebody's shaky handheld phone camera? No. Or maybe you would, I don't know.
Not particularly.
Not particularly, no.
So I've been on some stricter shows than others. It is bad form. If any of you guys find yourself on set, do not take any photos. It's very bad form.
Have you ever been on a set where they've asked people to kind of turn in their phones so they don't even have them on them?
Yeah, I've been on one phone. Actually, it was Smash. I know big movies will do this. Superhero movies will do it. But I was on Smash, and we had Eliza Minnelli on. And for whatever reason, with Eliza Minnelli, we collected all the extras' phones.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder if that was a request on her part,
like in
or
her contract, maybe.
I honestly can't speak to that, but that was one I've personally seen.
That's kind of surprising for that. They would want to collect everyone's phones.
Mm-hmm. I think it also had something to do with the finale.
That's true.
Well, whatever.
I mean, it was the series finale, actually, wasn't it? Technically, at that
was.
point, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that show.
Yeah, so it might have just been they didn't want to risk it leaking in any way what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So next we're going to talk about shows we're checking out. Obviously, every week we talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which we will talk about a little bit today. We won't talk about it in great length. And why is that, Tristan?
It's on my list to watch. I haven't gotten there yet.
Tristan, we are here to inform the people about things that are great to watch, and we've done Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. every week, but no, he has disappointed you all and has not watched this week.
So when are you going to watch it?
Maybe tonight or tomorrow. I'll get around to it before next week.
Okay.
So he promises to watch 2 for next week. Is that right, Tristan?
Most likely.
Yeah, most likely. He has great support for you people. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week, actually, it was a phenomenal episode. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just seems to be getting better and better each week. But for some reason, the ratings are down, and I don't...
Oh, really?
Yes, the ratings are down, and it is on the chopping block right now of what's going to happen with it. I, for one, do not think it's going to be canned just because it has such a strong link to the films. And I think ABC, and since Disney owns ABC knows that it needs to keep it around for the Marvel films in general, if anything. I mean...
That's surprising and disappointing to hear, just because the production quality is gotten really good. It's gotten a lot better. The story's good. The actors are great. So is this based on the episodes from last year or last season, or just kind of declined over the course of this season?
It was very in decline last season. Season 1 was lower. Season 2 has gone up a little bit. However, I think the big breaks recently between shows, like 2 to 3 weeks between an episode, is not helping the studios at all recently. You watch shows like Gotham I've been watching, and it's literally been 6 weeks between an episode now, and then it's going to be another 2 weeks between episodes. I watch Castle. It's been 2 or 3 weeks between each episode sometimes. I don't think that these big gaps for these shows help them in any way, especially with ratings and stuff.
That is surprising because people very much fall into a routine. Okay, it's Monday night, it's X time, I'm going to watch this, or the following day, okay, this recorded yesterday, now I can watch it and catch up on it. So all of a sudden, if you follow that routine, it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to get distracted and do something else, and then not come back. It's very easy to not come back to it a week after that.
Yeah, I think DVR ratings are helping Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like we talked about how Liza Dushku had mentioned to us that, that was what saved Dollhouse for the first season, after the first season, which her show was the first show to beat the DVR ratings. I think DVR ratings are helping Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, but I also think more so it's the films. And since the films are doing really successful, they want a presence on the small screen for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I enjoy it, because it gives me my Marvel fix between movies when it might be another 6 months, or in this case, we haven't had a Marvel movie since Guardians.
Yes.
But let's talk for a second. You said it was ABC that's producing it?
Yes.
That if you don't have DVR and you haven't heard about it yet, who's the usual pool of viewers for ABC? It's not the people that binge watch. It's not the people that watch movies. It's, mothers, people, after supper at 9 to 5. And
Desperate Housewives.
I don't think these ladies or the people...
Or the show, I mean.
Oh, yes. I don't think these people watching ABC really follow Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or these movies. So I think you'd have to have the DVR, and that's probably where it's falling down.
That's true, because you look at their other show lineups, that's really the only thing in that kind of category. ABC doesn't really kind of do that sci-fi fantasy type of a show typically.
Yeah, they don't have the built-in audience.
No. I mean, Agent and Carter, they're pretty sure Agent of Carter is not going to come back now.
Which is really disappointing, because I thought Agent Carter was fantastic. I liked it a little bit more than S.H.I.E.L.D., just because you have a different kind of time period, different atmosphere, all the costuming, different storyline. I really enjoyed Agent Carter, so that's disappointing if we don't see a second season.
Yeah, it's how it rolls. It seems like the movies do really well, and the only reason these shows are sticking around as long as they are, or even got a shot, was because of the films, to be honest.
But I wonder if that's part of what hurt Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is, because you did have an 8-week gap with the miniseries, one that ran between the first part of the season and the second part of the season. So it might be...
And, I do think that... So, even like Erika just said, you have the original problem of usually people watch it on DVR, but you also have the added problem if people do watch it, sometimes they'll forget because it's been gone for so long and so long periods of time that, I mean, sometimes I forget. The other day I forgot about a show I was watching because it's been off for like 6 weeks, and I missed 2 episodes.
Yeah. That's back already? I didn't even realize. I completely forgot about it. And the other thing now is you have the rise of Hulu and other digital methods of watching it. I know Nielsen doesn't count those because in order for Nielsen to count it, it has to have the exact same commercials aired online as it did during when it aired over the air.
Really?
Yeah, so like Nielsen's very particular in what they count. So if it didn't air the exact same way, because they're doing that mostly for the advertisers, so if it's a different set of advertisers, they're not going to count it. Mm-hmm. So that might be part of it too. I don't know how much they factor into those online viewings between Hulu and ABC's own digital distribution or on demand.
Yeah. So, but speaking of the show in general, that was this week. It was very good stuff. Obviously, we left off with the new Shield, and Edward James Olmos had a very big part in this episode, more so than the other one. So it's great to see him. Great actor.
Does it seem like he'll be around for the rest of the season?
I think he will be around for the rest of the season, and I wouldn't be surprised if unless something happens later on that it'd be nice to see him in Age of Ultron, actually, to be honest with you.
Ooh, that would be really exciting.
Yeah, there was some big hints about Age of Ultron this week.
Huh?
For leading up to it, as well as Inhumans, which they've been leading up to, which is very surprising. They've been talking about Inhumans a lot, based that Marvel movie's not coming up for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, because kind of sowing the seeds 2 or 3 years in advance for a show that now, based on the ratings, might not be around for another season.
Well, that's kind of what Marvel does. I mean, think about Iron Man 1. They place the seeds for Avengers 1 4 or 5 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
So another show I'm watching, at least, was Hell on Wheels, which I finished actually very quickly. That's how addicted I got to it. I watched 4 seasons in 1 week. I don't know if that should be applauded.
No.
Yes, Hell on Wheels, very good show. AMC. It's about a Confederate soldier after Lincoln's assassination going to work on the railroad, but he's searching for the Union soldiers that killed his wife and son. And he goes on to work to the railroad to find the people, but he ends up getting a job on the railroad. He ends up making friends with a freed black man on the railroad. The show is very well done, very good atmosphere for the time period. It's very true to what happened in the right during the railroad for the Union Pacific and the Central Pacific, trying to get to the Pacific Ocean at the same time. As a big history buff, I love the show. It definitely played to what I love. I feel it's a show everybody should check out. Next season will be the last season for 5 seasons of it, which saddens me that I just found it now.
Now you have to wait a year after chewing through all of it in a week.
Yes, exactly. Now I also have to wait a year to watch the rest of Hell on Wheels. But it's definitely a very good show. Should be checked out. Definitely if you're a history buff, I would definitely recommend it.
I only watched the first 2 episodes of it, but I did like it. The atmosphere is very good, the acting is good, and just kind of the time period is a little bit different. Being right after the Civil War, the construction of the railroad, it was well done.
Yeah,
At some
definitely.
point, I'll have to watch the rest of it.
I feel like anything, to me, anything historical fiction is done really well right now in the time we're in. I mean, I feel like maybe in the 90s, 80s, it wasn't done as well for those kind of historical time periods, but right now I feel like they're being done very well.
And that is AMC?
AMC, yeah. So same Walking Dead, Breaking Bad. They've had
Mad Men.
Yeah, Mad Men. They've gotten a lot of great shows right now recently.
Yeah,
So
AMC is producing some of the top caliber shows out there right now. They're right up there with HBO and FX.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I feel like FX got it started, and then from there, other shows started picking it up, and now almost every cable network has their own kind of original show they kind of throw out there.
Now, do they kind of do the more modern format where they're only doing 10 to 13 episodes a season, or are they doing the full 23?
No, I feel like just like more, it's 10 to 13. The first 3 were 10, and then the 4th season was 13, and the 5th will be 13. So they're just cutting into 13 territory. But I think I rather like it like that. I'd rather it be 10 to 13. I feel like you have so much more time and effort put into those episodes instead of just trying to knock out 23 episodes.
Well, and also it kind of seems like you can pace it better, too, rather than, okay, we have to fill 23 weeks worth of content. All right, you're more likely that you're going to have some filler episodes and whatnot to just stretch out for that amount of time.
Yeah, and I feel 23 episodes is okay for the general sitcoms and stuff like that. But when it comes to these hard dramas and stuff like that, I feel like the 10 to 13 area is the way to go.
Yeah, kind of that more narrative storytelling.
Yeah. So, Erika, you are watching and surprisingly worked on Bloodline on
Yes.
Netflix.
Oh, it's fantastic. I had to honestly get through the first 4 episodes. It has to find its sea legs, if you will. But once it does, I'm hooked right now. I can't wait to finish it. My parents already finished it. And yes, we'll have to wait the year for the next season.
But it has been renewed, so that is actually some good news.
Yeah.
And this is a Netflix original?
Netflix original. I think we knew while filming it was going into its 2nd season anyways. Yeah, it's great. I'm having a great time with it.
Now, is it weird watching something that you worked on, or is it extra exhilarating because you kind of were there for the behind the scenes, or is it like, oh, I get to see this again that I spent 4 days working on?
That latter part. It's kind of exhilarating, being like, oh, I'm so familiar with that set. I know exactly where I stood. I laid there for lunch. So that's the best part. Otherwise, like, it dredges up bad memories and good memories. And
Do you feel like it takes the magic out of it at all?
oh, easily. I'm like, all that sweat, that's all real. It was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kind of my old job, the thing was, is like, if you want to learn to hate something you love, work in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if anybody doesn't know, Tristan worked at Nesson.
Yeah, I worked at
beforehand.
Nesson for many years, so if you love sports, just work in it, and it will drive you to hate it.
No, I mean, I don't want to give it a bad rap. I love what I do. I loved being there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, for me, I've been watching more Justified in its final season. Fantastic. And also I've been watching Arrow, which I've kind of always avoided the WB shows just because they have a little bit of that cheesiness and whatnot. I watched a couple episodes of Smallville. I just couldn't get into it. However, Arrow, first episode I watched, I was already hooked. So it's a little bit darker, a little bit more grittier, and it's really well done.
I've been tempted by Arrow more for John Borman, who I'm a huge fan of, who we met, which was a great guy, awesome guy.
Yeah, it is really exciting to see him in a series again. It's wonderful, but it's also strange because in this he plays a villain.
Yeah, I can't really picture him playing a villain. He's either the the Doctor's companion, or the immortal Torchwood guy.
Yeah,
agent.
so it's weird seeing him play this kind of really cold-blooded type of a person. He's good. I'm really enjoying seeing him, and we've seen a couple people from Battlestar Galactica as a couple cameos in that as well.
It's interesting. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people from Battlestar Galactica have gone over to other things too now. So especially like James Olmos and S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff like that. So speaking of Doctor Who, actually, there was some news that Arya Stark will be in Series 9 of Doctor Who. Not the character, the actress.
I'm so disappointed. You set me up, and it's not a crossover. I'm so
No.
disappointed.
That'd be the best crossover ever.
Yes, the Doctor is coming to Westeros.
I want to see a dragon steal the TARDIS.
I assure you that even if it's not in Game of Thrones, one day a dragon will steal the TARDIS. If he's not already stolen the TARDIS. He could have already stolen the TARDIS, you don't know.
This is true.
It is one-time continuum.
We did just have a T-Rex interacting with the Doctor and the TARDIS, so...
Exactly, and I believe that even happened before, in with the Fourth Doctor or something like that.
Most likely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the problem with a series like that has been around for so long. Is like he's done so many things already. It's kind of trying to find new content for something that has 50 years of content.
Yeah, when you're over 50 years of a show being on the air, you start to rehash some old things, which they have definitely been doing. But it's been enjoyable seeing them in a new light with a new Doctor and stuff like that.
Well, not to try to compare it to a soap opera. Soap operas have also been on the air for 50 years. They keep stealing babies like every 3 months, so at least it's not that bad.
This is true.
Yeah.
Hopefully they never get to that territory.
But the day the Doctor steals a baby, I don't know if I really want to continue watching Doctor Who. I mean, he did have his interactions with Stormageddon, but that was,
But Stormageddon was fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I wonder if she's just going to be a bit part and on for a couple episodes, or if she'll be a long-term character, because it would be amazing to see her as like a secondary companion.
I actually would like to see her as a companion. I think she'd do really well. It's been a long time since the Doctor's had a child companion. I mean, the last one he had died. I mean, when you think about it that
Wow.
way.
Yeah, that got dark very quickly.
I mean, he needs a redo.
How old is this actress now?
I want to say she's like 13, 14.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's a relatively young actress.
So she's no longer a child, but she's into her tween years.
Okay.
Tween.
So legally, she can only be on set for a couple hours. That's a nice short shooting day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so is there a limit to the working day for a child actor?
Absolutely. Well, at least in the United States. I don't know what the BBC has set up,
Or
but
Britain, yeah. Because, I mean, that would make me think Game of Thrones because she, you know.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So what is the limit?
it depends on the age. I think somebody who's 13 years old can only do 9 hours in the United States. I can't speak to the BBC, but that would be awesome. Put me on that show.
Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't realize they had kind of a time limit for younger actors.
Yeah, child labor laws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are around now. But, you know. So, I mean, I've heard, at least from this, Moffat has said that she does give the Doctor a handful. And, like, she does play a little key role in what's going to happen in Series 9. So that'll be actually really good to see.
So she seems like she's going to blow up because there's also rumors of her that she's going to be in the Last of Us movie as well.
That I'm excited for. I can't wait to see her in The Last of Us. I think she'll do a really great job in that.
Yeah, she seems perfect for that role. And speaking of Doctor Who, the BBC actually announced that they're going to use BitTorrent bundles to sell 10 episodes of Doctor Who.
This seems rather strange.
Yeah, well, BitTorrent has been making an effort lately to go more legit as a legit means of distribution for digital content.
Not just for the pirates, all right?
Exactly. So because they have the infrastructure already set up, so they're trying to make deals with major companies, and the BBC, I believe, is the first one. I know the lead singer of Radiohead, his most recent solo album, he released as a BitTorrent bundle. So basically you pay for it, you pay them, the BBC or whoever directly, you get a link and you download it via BitTorrent client.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand where they're trying to go. They're trying to make like people see that BitTorrent is a legit, purchasing thing, not just for illegal downloads, which is pretty much all it's been used for since it came out. But
the nice thing kind of about this is, being it's BitTorrent, it should be platform agnostic, as opposed to, okay, I bought the Doctor Who through iTunes, I can only watch it on iTunes or whatnot. This, you get to download a physical file you keep and shouldn't have any DRM on it.
I agree, and it's definitely something. DRM is, I feel like, a holdback for iTunes because you can only play it on iTunes. You can only play it at this time with this many computers. Is definitely reason I don't buy things on iTunes. I want different devices. I don't want to just watch it on my Apple device. I want to watch it on my Xbox or something else. However, right now the only people who know about BitTorrents are the people who torrent for free. So I don't see them purchasing it.
Yeah, but I mean, this does give them basically an easy means of, oh, hey, you're a big fan of this stuff, throw us a few bucks and you can download this whole stuff and keep it, it's going to be legit, it's going to be good quality, it's not going to have weird subtitles, it's from us.
No, I definitely know where they're going. I just feel it's going to take a while for them to catch on. I think seeing the BBC do it somewhere for the United Kingdom is one thing. I don't see a U.S. broadcasting company doing it.
I doubt it. But also the benefit of companies using BitTorrent probably is the percentage, because I believe iTunes keeps 30%. So if you're going through BitTorrent, either you get paid directly or you pay BitTorrent a very smaller fee, so you're going to get more profit based on each one you sell.
No, I mean, to be honest, it's the same kind of thing iTunes does, and I think that's what they're trying to compete with. It's a good start, and I believe it would be a good program to use and do, but it's just going to take a while to catch on.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're trying to build it up. But yeah, for myself, I much prefer just doing physical media, especially for films, because then I don't have to worry about having to stream it from someplace, the internet running slow or whatnot. It's like, all right, pop in a disc, it just works.
Yeah, but people nowadays, they just want quick and easy, and I think for most people who just do iTunes and stuff, doing the torrent way will be a little more difficult for them.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the holdback right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ease of convenience. All right, you have an Apple TV, you just click on it, you buy it, it's there.
Yeah. So I think that's going to do it for today. Erika, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot
Thank you
of fun.
for your insight.
Thank you.
And, until next time, we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right.
don't want to go.